Good morning, IPSJ students. Today we are going to explain a new lesson that will help us to understand more the concept of programming and how we're going to program our beautiful robots that we're going to build. Our basic word for today is flowchart or flowcharting. What does this mean? So today we're going to be introduced to the term flowchart, how does it work, and how we can use it in programming our robot. So let's get started. What is a flowchart? As you can see on your right, we have a diagram. So flowchart basically is a diagram that describes the flow. Flow means how things go of any program. So every day, every single one of us have a specific flowchart for, let's say, morning routine. So when you wake up in the morning, you will have the following flowchart. You will wake up, you will wash your face, you will have breakfast, you will get ready, and then you will grab your bag, you will take your books, and then you will go to school. So this is how you describe your morning flowchart of going to school. So it is as simple as that. Basically, it is a steps of how things go. So step one, we have this, and then we're moving to something else, and then we're moving to something else. And sometimes we need to make some decision, or we need to make or repeat some of the following steps. Everything is going to be described in details in the following slides. So the figure that you see on your right explains how workers or employees will get paid for their work. So as you can see, we have the start, okay, and then how many, and then we will ask how many hours did you work, okay, and then we are going to get the number of hours, and then how much do you get paid per hour. We need to make a calculation now. How much do you get paid multiplied by the rate of the payment, yani how much do you get per hour, which happens over here. And then over here, we are going to do the multiplication. So math happens in this slide, in this process. Multiply hours by rate, store results in gross pay. Gross pay means total amount. Total amount of payment, okay? And then display the total amount of payment. Yani in this slide, they will tell us you will get paid 5,000 dirhams, for example, per the work that you did, and then we are ending this flow chart. Okay. As you can see, this flow chart does not have one static or one basic shape or symbols. We have different types of symbols, and every symbol do we have, it represents a specific process or represent a specific thing. So we're starting with this shape that represents a terminal, okay? It is represented by a rounded rectangle. It indicates the start or end point of the process. So we have a starting point and ending point. We are using the same round rectangle to indicate start and end. Moving on to the shape that looks like this, okay? This is an input-output operation. One more time, this is an input-output operation represented by this shape, indicates input or output operation, like display a message, read the hours, display the total amount, okay? Moving on to the next shape, which is a square or a rectangle, okay? Represented as a rectangle indicates the process, which is a very important word that we're going to use in our robotics classes, such as mathematical computation or variable assignment. Mathematical or variable assignment. So the process, for example, in our robotics might be calculate the number of steps or calculate the number of rotations your robot is going to move, or calculate the angle the robot is going to turn, etc., etc. Okay? Moving on to the next step, flowchart structure. The structure of flowchart will indicate four main structures. Sequence, يعني تسلسل, decision, قرار, repetition, إعادة, أو تكرار case حالة. Okay, so what type of structure is this? What do you think this represents? We are coming from this side, okay? And then we are doing one thing, lead to one other thing, and then we are going back to do this one more time, over and over and over again. So this case represents repetition. Why? Because it goes into a closed circle, as you can see. It is repetition. And as discussed in our last class in ICT, this might means loop. Oh, this means loop. Okay? One other structure. What type of structure is this? We are going from one step to another. Okay? So this represents sequence. ترتيب. تسلسل. Okay? We are going from one step to another step, to another step, to another step. Okay, so this is a sequence, and then moving on to a new structure. What do you think this type of structure? So we have a process that happens over here, and we have different options. Okay, so what are we going to call these options that we have over here? We are going to call them case. Okay, so how many cases do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, and 4 cases that the robot needs to make a decision which case they are going to execute. Execute means they're going to apply and they are going to do. Okay? Moving on to the next structure. What type of structure is this? So we have the process over here, and we have 2 cases that goes to another step. What do you think is this? This is a decision. So the robot needs to make a decision which way they need to go. They might go either to option number 2 or case number 1 or case number 2. Okay, so to summarize everything we have discussed, these are the symbols that this is the shape, this is the symbol, this is how it looks like, this is the name of this symbol, and this is the function. What does it mean, function? Function mean what does it do? So, or for example, this is an oval, represents a start or end point. Okay, so this is an arrow, line, connector that shows relationship between the representative shapes, etc., for the rest of the shapes. So I hope that flowchart is clear for everyone, and that you understand the concept of flowchart, which is a diagram that represents the steps, okay, and the steps or the flow of any program. So you need to make a decision where to start, what is the process, and how you're going to move on until the end of the process. Please now move on to the next step explained in the class instruction, and please write down all the questions that you have so I will be able to answer them by the end of the class. Thank you very much and have a great day.